You're listening to the New Story podcast from New Story Church in Kansas City. To learn more about New Story Church, visit our website at www.newstory.church.
Welcome, everybody, to the Equip Podcast, equipping you to live out your Christian life as you faithfully love God and love others with truth and grace. My name is Jeremy. I work with our students, our creative team, one of the pastors here. And today I am joined by one of my favorite guests. It's Ashley Berry. Say hey.
Hey, it's me.
It's her. And if you don't know Ashley, she is our... Well, why don't you introduce yourself? There we go.
Yeah, sure. I am the worship director, coordinator, whatever you want to call that person. I plan and coordinate all the music and the team and the tech team.
That's true. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't introduce you like what's this?
Jason Kelsey.
Jason Kelsey introduced Taylor Swift.
Pretty epic. I don't have as
time Grammy Award winner.
Yeah, I don't have nearly as many accomplishments.
Don't quite have that
many.
3-time mother.
Woo!
Ashley Berry.
There it is.
There it is. Which you are in a new place in life right now.
I sure am. All my kids are in school and I don't know what to do with my time.
Just before we started, she's like, I'm considering needing another child because I don't know what to do with my time.
I mean, for real, like, this is weird. It's such a weird concept of what do I do? Where do I go? Do I just stay home? I feel like I'm wasting my time if I just stay home. I need to go do things. But then I'm like, what do I do? So I end up at church.
And thankfully, it's only like two minutes.
5, but it's fine.
It is not fine. How slow are you driving?
I drive a little over the speed limit, but I am not a speed demon like some people.
No, don't put that on me. But without like going crazy, Aubrey is my witness. I have driven from my house or from the apartment here to your house in 2.5 minutes.
That just doesn't seem possible. I've never been able to do that, no matter which way I go. And I have driven this way every week for how many years?
For a lot of years.
10, 11 years.
Yeah. When was it that you came here?
We started coming here in August of 2013.
And did you have any? Wow, I can't believe that was just a couple years for me. Did you have any connections here before you started coming?
No, we moved into Highland Crest.
The place you're at now?
No, 2 blocks away from the church. And we were really just...
Apartment?
No, it was a house. Oh. It's, if you just go straight through that neighborhood with all like the split levels, and then that next neighborhood is Highland Crest. And we were just like right there.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah, we were right there.
there.
And it was, we were just trying a bunch of different churches in the area. We had been to Life Church down, I think it's called something different now, but it was Life Church down in Olathe because Micah used to go to that one when
Life
they
Mission?
Yes.
Or is it Life.Church like the...
It's not the
Life.Church.
Church.
Okay.
No. It was Life Church when we went there, but they had to change it because...
Life Mission. Yeah.
And so we were going there and we really liked it, but it was just really big and it was pretty far away. And so we started looking at churches around here and he's like, well, there's this one that's, 2 blocks away. We could try that.
Close.
I'm like, bet, let's do it. Totally said it like that too, because that was definitely language you used in 2013.
Bet, Micah.
Bet. But yeah, no, we came here and met a couple really great people and went out to lunch with them that same
Cool.
afternoon, and then the next week they invited us to come to a small group. And
let me guess, Sunil and Amanda.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They were so good at that, man.
They were impeccable at creating relationships. And they were just, how did you start coming here? Like, oh, the internet, your website.
Yeah. Hey, that's a dub.
So, yeah. That's how we started. Yeah.
And I will say that is, outside of a personal invitation, that's the way most people come in here and that's why, I put as much work as I do into our socials and our website, which seems like, I don't know, misplaced effort at times, but it
definitely matters, especially for people who have been church before and they're just looking for a church, that's one way that they know that they can find something. It's an easy way for them to navigate.
Yeah.
Okay, is this church aligned with my beliefs? Is there something? How does their socials look? Do they look up to date and current? Are they more traditional? What does this look like?
Yeah.
And then for people who are unchurched, who've never been to church, it's really helpful too to be able to see like, okay, they're relatable.
They've updated their website since 2002. Yeah. That's good.
They're current. They seem a little bit more with the times.
Yeah.
In the world, but not of the world.
There it is. There it is. I want a church that's in the world, not of the world. And this website gives me that.
That website is so it.
It was funny. Pierce told me just the other day. We were talking. I think just kind of having him do just some evaluations in like, from, because he applied to several different churches. Like, how was your experience here in the application process and all of that? And then like your first, like, what are you thinking? He said he almost, when someone sent him, I think his wife sent him the church, the posting that we had put out in 22, it would have been 23. I can't remember. 23, I think.
It all blends together.
23. I know, dude, it's a wild time. And he said he looked at it and almost didn't apply because he thought we were too big of a church and too like modern of a church.
That's crazy.
And I was like, no, it was in the write-up. We're a church of like 120.
Yeah, we're not a big church at all. We are a small church,
but
100% small church.
Yeah. So I've thought about that too. I'm like, man, am I
You're
bearing false
good.
witness? No, that's not what I'm saying. Am I bearing false witness in some way? Or is there people that don't come because they do think we're like some mega church here in Turner?
And it doesn't help that our building is
it's very big,
massive. And we utilize a lot of it, but it is a massive building to where you're just like, oh my gosh, this is a huge church. And then you walk in, you're like, oh, actually, like there's like 5 people in here at the beginning of service, right? And by the end of service, you're like, oh, wow, there's actually people that go to church here. Yeah. Who would have thought?
Oh, my goodness. Well, besides all of this, I had texted you the other day about just an idea I had for a podcast I thought would be interesting based on some conversations that we've had, stuff that I know you kind of think about on a regular basis. And to help open that up, how you would answer this question would probably change now versus what 2 years ago or whatever. But when people come up with like the common question that we ask one another, hey, how are you? How are things? It's what we do. What is a common response people give? Oh,
I'm good. Things are great. Living the dream.
Yeah. Staying busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that, hey, great, going all right. Yeah, living the dream nonsense. But I hear, hey, staying busy. I hear that so much as like some admirable trait. They're like, oh man, look at them, staying busy.
They got it all. They're figuring it out.
If you're doing busy, you're doing good.
Yeah.
That was kind of the sense that you get from that, or kind of the thing we communicate without realizing we're communicating it.
Absolutely.
And I think there's times, and I won't say this for everyone, but I can say it for me personally, and maybe you can answer this for yourself. But I think we say, staying busy and some like throwaway statements like that when we're asked how we're doing or how are things, because I don't know that we know how to answer that question fully that well. Because maybe we're not really taking stock of how things are actually going in our life and how we're doing. And so we just lean back into kind of what the culture gives us as a good thing. And it's just, hey, staying busy.
Right. And it also, that question, when people ask it, it's just like, oh, good morning type of a statement.
Yeah,
and
it's used
as just like, hey, I'm being polite, but I really don't want to know.
There's also that side of it. Hey, how's doing? All right, moving on.
Whenever someone asks you, I'm always of the mind, am I really going to share?
What is this?
Or is it just doing great? How you doing?
Yeah.
Great, good. We're wonderful.
It is a sense of kind of a greeting. Like
Right.
if we're just gonna, it is kind of a greeting. And if you want to, hey, how you doing? I lost a family member this week. Oh, okay. I was just saying hey as I'm passing by. But what?
Nothing. Go
Okay. It can you can kind of scare people away in a sense when you just throw that out there. So it's like we never know. Are you actually asking? Are we entering in conversation? And so we just kind of lean back into platitudes.
Yep.
And just say stuff.
Just say stuff just to be polite with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really get to the heart of building community, being vulnerable. And I think there's merit in knowing who you can be vulnerable with, and not every single Joe Blow that you're walking by on the street needs to hear your life story.
Yeah.
But also it is important that if we are asking that question, we ourselves, if we're saying how you doing, that we're going to be okay with someone sharing.
If someone opens up,
Exactly.
we're cool with it.
We're okay with it because we asked the question.
Yeah.
And sometimes people just need the question.
That's true. But I wanted to address some of that just kind of tension in that for a few minutes here, because I had a couple different things I wanted to talk through. But I think the not knowing how to answer, should we even really be asking the question, going towards busyness as some admirable
Trophy.
thing. Like we feel all these different tensions through stuff. And so I began to think, and this is what I texted you about. It's like, I think in some ways the Bible, as we read through it, can feel like it's sending us mixed signals like that. It's like, what do you really want from me? Because these two things feel at odds.
Yeah.
And I had 3 examples that I want to look at with you.
Okay.
The first one, and this came about because I was listening to a sermon by a guy. Randomly, I'll just pull up sermons from maybe people I don't know, just trying to continue to learn and work on my evaluation skills of just like, hey, what's good in here, what's not good in here, as I evaluate myself on a regular basis. And they were kind of leaning into something that I'm like, okay, I think there's a tension here that he's trying to address. I don't know he's doing a great job of it, but there's tension here. And it's or Scripture tells us the 2 different things. Okay, I'll read the passage for you.
Yeah.
In Luke 9:23 says, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily. And then in Matthew 22, Jesus tells us to love your neighbor as yourself, implying, hey, there's a sense that like we have to understand ourselves and love ourselves to be able to love someone in the same way. Like that's kind of the base idea of that. And so does loving yourself, or just self-care in a sense, contradict dying to yourself? Like dying to yourself versus caring for yourself, how do those things, because it seems like a little mixed signals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it can feel like that for sure, because you are told one thing here and then the next instant you're told this other thing. How do they coexist? How do you make that work? And as I have grown a lot, this idea of dying to oneself really just hit home the fact that dying to oneself means you're dying to your desires.
Bingo.
Your fleshly, your earthly desires that aren't of God. Things that are talked about so many times in Paul's letters. Sexual morality, drunkenness, anger, like unrighteous anger, and all of these lists of things that we just go to naturally. Those are things that we should be dying to, because when we go to those naturally, we're not able to love others properly. We dehumanize the people.
Right.
We see them as objects. We don't see them as image bearers. And when we're dying to oneself, we're dying to the desires, but not to our needs.
Yeah, and that's literally what I just wrote down as you were talking. Is that we're not dying to our needs and neglecting the needs that we do have.
Right.
We're dying to like certain desires that need to die as you slowly and methodically bring your desires in alignment with His.
Absolutely.
There will be things that you have to let go
Mm-hmm.
and let die, and that is okay, and we have to be okay with that.
You have to be okay with it, because if we truly love God and want this message of the gospel of salvation and redemption, life, if we truly want that, then we have to die to the things that hinder people from seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The what's the saying? If he's not Lord of all, he's Lord of nothing, in a sense. Because if I'm saying like he can have this 99% of my life, but this 1% he can't have yet. This is the desire I don't want to kill yet. Mm-hmm. Who's really in control? Right. Not him.
Not him.
So that's when we talk about surrender and dying to our desires. That's what we're talking about. It's making Him continuously more and more Lord as we give up certain things, and it's uncomfortable, man. I don't. Mm-hmm. That is not a great selling point for the gospel for people that are far from God.
Right? No, absolutely not.
Hey, take up your cross, die to yourself, and put Him first, and even others before. Man, dude, it doesn't sell well.
Not at all. And one area that I remember being a teenager, and I would pray for the fruits of the Spirit, except patience. Because I heard one time, if you're praying for patience, God's not going to just give you patience. He's going to give you opportunities to use it.
Oh, dude, that's
because if you think about the fruits of the Spirit, they are actions. Mm-hmm. They are choices. Mm-hmm. It's not just an emotion that you were suddenly flooded with.
Yeah. They're results
of
long-term obedience.
Exactly. Yeah. And in choosing to follow the Holy Spirit, to be in step with Him, to walk with Him. And, you know, I was at a conference a few weeks ago, and I've said this quite a lot to a lot of people over the last few weeks, but the time that we're spending worrying and stressing about all this other stuff that's in our brain. We haven't even said it to anyone else, but it's just all over in our brain spiraling. It could be time that we are spending with God, that we are surrendering in that moment. And it's not easy. So instead of in that moment, we just oh Lord, I surrender. That's going to be almost impossible.
Yeah.
We do that when we're not in a spiral moment.
Yep.
We work on it when we're not in the spiral, so that way when we do get into that moment of this desire is this temptation, this inclination that I have, this thorn in my flesh, as Paul would say, it's easier to go to surrender because we're practicing it outside. Just like reading your Bible, even whenever you're on the highest of the mountains, right? It's the most beautiful time. You're still spending time with God. Yeah. Because whenever you're in the deepest valley, that's going to be the hardest moment for you to continue doing it.
Yeah, and and we're getting a little off from this now, but
right,
that's fine. I do think so. One of my profs, I think it was one of my profs in college, said, or maybe it was seminary, I can't remember which class it was. He said we work on this theology, because obviously you're in Bible college and seminary, you're deep in the weeds, and he's like, we do this. We develop this theology. We learn what we believe about God, so that when things are put to the test, we already know what we believe, and we can operate out of that. And that's the same idea. We develop these rhythms when it's easy to develop the rhythms, because when it hits the fan, you know as much as I do, that sometimes when we're faced with that reality, sometimes sometimes those are the easiest. Okay, it's out of my control. Going to give it to the Lord, and finally I will pray. Finally I will read my Bible. And so often in crisis, that's when people show up at the door of the church and be like, I need the Lord. It's like you've needed the Lord the whole time. Right. I'm glad that this moment is giving you that realization. But for healthy followers of Jesus, this is why the rhythms of Bible study and prayer and church and community, like all these things are important, so that when we get to that point of crisis, we've already developed a good habit.
Right. Absolutely. And it
and-
helps with our needs,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's that need that if we are a Christ follower, this isn't just a back burner he's not a sidekick,
Mm-hmm.
and he is a need. Once we become his children, right? Co-heirs, co-workers, all these words that I've been reading about this last week. Gotta get them all. It really hones in the fact that how much of a need it really is. And it shouldn't be something that we leave for the end, or we leave for just the 1 minute of the day that we have for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we should be operating out of.
Yeah. And I had a couple questions in here that maybe help us navigate some of this. So I'll ask them to you. When does denying myself cross the line into unhealthy neglect of myself?
Well, I'm going to speak because I'm a mom.
There you go.
I have had phenomenal support from my husband.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough
Shout out
words,
Micah Berry.
to explain how amazing of a dad and a husband and a partner he is. I mean, there's just no words. But I can 100% see how whenever I am only taking care of my kids all day long, taking care of their food, entertaining them, making sure that their clothes are clean, making sure like the house is clean, and doing all of this stuff for everybody else. When I am serving so many other people, not just my kids, and then I have church, I'm serving at church, and I have all these different things that I'm doing at church, and then I have my job, and I'm doing all these different things that I'm serving within my job, and I'm helping, and I'm serving, and I'm serving, and I'm serving. And we just keep pouring out, and then I get overwhelmed, and I go, and I'm by myself. But I don't spend time with the Lord. I just need time away, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I enter back into the same situation with the same mindset.
Yeah.
I haven't been reset. I haven't been refreshed. I've been doing it on my own, and I'm still neglecting my needs.
Mm-hmm.
My first need is reconnecting with the person the one who created me. To center myself and to remind myself, like, okay, I can't do this, but the Lord through me sure can.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm losing it, and I know that he can refresh me if I just let him.
Yeah.
But that's not a natural inclination.
Yeah.
And so I will still consistently pour into all these other people and all the friendships and all the things and do instead of taking moments.
What you're getting at, those are good things.
Yeah,
caring for your family, even serving your church.
I don't want to neglect anything.
Sorry, kids. Mama's got to go pray. You guys fend for yourself.
Right.
Yeah, and what you're doing throughout the time is you are denying yourself. You're. I've heard many people say, when you have kids, your life's not your own anymore.
I mean, taking a shower, getting clean, that in and of itself, like, you would think that's funny, right? Yeah. No, like, there were some times I'm just like, wow, it's day. Wow, okay, I need to get clean.
Yeah,
and just the idea of taking a shower was overwhelming, because I'm like, there's going to be a kid crying at the door. They're going to want something. It's just easier to do that. And then I would push it off and push it off and push it off until I was too tired to even care, and then go right back to bed.
Yeah.
That's just being a mom.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I have a different position because I don't have kids. I don't know that feeling. I do know the feeling of denying myself to care for people, and give of myself, but not as much on that lane. But something like every time I hear parents say, "Hey, your life's not your own," like, it's just gonna suck, and I just constantly think, like, does it have to?
No, it really doesn't.
Because that doesn't really make me want to have kids.
Right. It doesn't have to. And I think, that's where good partners come in, a good village and community. I have a phenomenal group of people that will help of a drop of a hat. They'll be there for me. They're there. And so it's an incredible thing, and I'm incredibly privileged to have that. And I know that there's so many moms, so many people out there that don't have that.
Yeah.
And because I have such a great support system, motherhood has been, beautiful in a way that I probably wouldn't have been able to experience because of mental health issues.
Yeah. Yeah. So along the same line, something I've said for years, because maybe it's just observation, is, I've seen moms like yourself just drive themselves down because they want to care for their kids and give them a good life and all these that are necessary, not just like we're going above and beyond to make them happy, but like we're doing good stuff for them. But healthy kids need healthy parents.
Absolutely.
And I so often see parents just absolutely driven down and broken, and I don't have all the right answers. But what I can tell you is, for me, that looks like your denial of yourself has turned into unhealthy neglect of yourself.
And I mean, whatever we pour into our heart is what will come out of us. And so if we're just pouring in just the exhaustion and frustration and whatever it is that we're experiencing, and that's all that's going in, is just the negative, then that's what's going to end up coming out. So then we're not able to love our neighbor as ourselves, because we'll look in the mirror and see this exhausted, pathetic looking slob of a human.
So how do you navigate that?
How do you navigate that? It's a growing experience for everyone, and it's different for every person. I remember leaving teaching, and that one of the other teachers had just come back from being a stay-at-home mom, and she was entering into the workforce, and she said, you need to have something that is for you. Don't quit everything just to be at home. And I never quit the worship team. And then I was on staff at church, and so I had something that I could do outside of being at home,
outside of family.
And that, I think, helped a lot. Sometimes it added a lot more stress, but I think that's with anything, figuring out the balance and knowing like, what is it? What do I need to figure out for myself, for my family, what's going to work? And so just making sure you have things that you enjoy that you can do.
Yeah.
Whether it's a parent or not a parent, finding things that bring you joy is important. Also, making sure that you are understanding your body and yourself. What does that mean? What does it mean to be calm for you? Because sometimes we're stuck in a survival mode with our bodies.
Yeah.
And whenever we finally do calm down, it feels weird. But that's where we need to stay. And so understanding how does it feel to breathe naturally and to breathe with deep breaths? Because if we sigh a lot, that's our body's natural inclination to be like, hey, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm doing that a lot.
Maybe there's something going on, and recognizing it. And not just recognizing and intellectualizing it, but actually talking about it with a friend, talking about it with Jesus. You might not get an answer right away from Jesus, but if you're crying out, so the Holy Spirit's going to hear you. And there is not a doubt in my mind the amount of times that I've cried out for him and not known that he was there. I knew every single time. And then it would spark something in me to go read my Bible. It would spark something in me to go listen to music, not to bring it in front of the church, but just to sit in it.
Yeah.
That's totally different. Enjoy it just because it's like making you more aware of his presence.
Yeah. That's good. And so what you're describing, and I wrote down a few of them, of just some healthy rhythms that we can have. Something for yourself. Well, the next one we'll get into, we'll talk a little bit more on that too. But I a few I wrote in here. Exercise.
Absolutely.
Sleep. And I know
I was getting ready to say sleep too. Need more sleep and make you feel
I mean, outside
so
of
much
just
better.
the general like spiritual disciplines or spiritual rhythms that we should have, right? Outside of those, exercise, sleep, good relationships with people, friendships with people, like you said, the community of people around you that you can depend on. That is so, and I feel that too with people around me. It is so to know I have people in my corner. And that, like, if something hits the fan or I'm really struggling, I know I'm not just isolated out here on an island.
Yeah.
That's huge.
You're not alone.
It makes it, honestly,
even if no one understands, even if that doesn't, like, your people are still your people. They're going to be there.
It makes it easier to die to myself because I know I have other people caring for me too. You know? What else? Oh, no, I think that's... Is that all I had? Yeah, that is all I had on here. Okay, so there's just a few.
Yeah.
But
those are great things. Getting outside, even if you're not exercising, just get outside and get some sunlight.
Yeah.
Touch some grass.
Touch some grass. I think the tension that I felt a lot is where does it go from like self-care, go from like this is gonna help me fuel my love for other people, and into fueling like self-indulgence,
right?
And I don't know that I have an answer for that because it's gonna be different for every person.
Yeah, I agree.
But what I can say, I know the difference.
Yeah,
I know the difference.
I think there's sometimes, because we always hear people say, protect your peace, toxic people, get them out of your life. And I think to a certain extent, yes, if the toxicity is abusive,
sure,
if it is harmful and there's no way for the people to reconcile, if the person has been harmed by another person, yes, these are all instances where absolutely forgive, but you obviously can't forget what has happened.
Yeah.
As much as we can, allowing God to work in our hearts to be able to forgive people. But there's also moments whenever that goes too far and we just cut people off because I need to protect my peace.
Yeah.
They're too difficult. And people are messy. People are hard.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And if we just write everyone off that's difficult, that we don't align with politically or we don't align with religion wise, like if we just cut people off, then we're creating little echo chambers.
Yeah.
And while these certain people, the Lord is working in my heart to be able to love this group of people, it doesn't mean that I can just not, like, all of a sudden my heart's just going to change and I'm going to, that's whenever I can start loving them.
Right.
Like, no, it needs to be a daily thing of surrender. Like, these aren't my people. These are your people. And I need to see them the way you see them.
Yeah.
And whenever these people are enacting harm upon me or my family, or they're doing things that are harmful,
that's different.
That's so different.
Yeah.
But if it's just the words that we speak sometimes.
I'd say not to Jesus jukey. This sounds a little Jesus jukey. But we're promised that if we seek it, the Lord will give us a peace that passes understanding, a peace that doesn't make sense. And so I don't need to worry as much about protecting how I define my peace. We sounded very Christian podcasty there.
For sure. But you know what? That's what we are.
So good.
Preach it. Amen.
So funny. But yeah, I think we like to define what our peace is, and we're told we're going to give a peace that completely doesn't make sense, and so I can have peace even when I got some spiritual dementors around me that are trying to suck the life out of me.
Right.
But there are times, like you said, to separate that out. But we know that I would just lean into, we know the difference.
Yeah.
And so I can't always make that judgment call for you.
Right.
But Lord knows, like,
Right.
you got to work that out.
You have to figure that out for yourself, when where that line is, because it is different. My threshold for things may be totally different than someone else.
Yeah.
My background with people is different.
Mm-hmm.
My things that I've done, learned are a little bit different than some other people. So my threshold might be different.
Yeah.
But yeah, figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
With the Lord.
Yes. A couple last thoughts on this one, then I'll move on to the next one real quick here. But Peter Assad, who's spoke here, been on podcasts before, he told me years ago, he's a dork for like personality tests.
Love it.
Loves his Enneagrams and his Myers-Briggs and all that stuff. And me and him, it's really fun. Me and him get the same thing every time. Like, we're personality twins. It's
That's
pretty
great.
Funny. But he told me why he's so into them is he's like, the scripture tells me to die to myself, but if I don't know myself, how am I supposed to die to that? And I thought that was really insightful.
Yeah.
And so I think there is value in knowing who you are. Yes, knowing who you are in Christ, redeemed, chosen, all that stuff. But also knowing who you are, knowing some of your proclivities and how you tick.
Listen, that's exactly what I teach is self-awareness.
Yeah.
In order to be able to help people, you have to know where you struggle.
Yeah.
What your strengths are. That way, if you can die to your pride and be like, I can't help this person because I don't have the resources. This is too triggering. It reminds me too much of something that happened to me. And you don't have pride to be like, no, I still have to, I have to help them. Like, you can hand it off to someone who is more capable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Knowing self-reflection and self-evaluation are incredible tools to be able to serve others.
Yeah. And another thing I had written down here was, imagine, the scripture says, love your neighbor as yourself. Imagine loving yourself as you would a close friend. Would you tell a friend, run yourself into the ground for Jesus? Completely ignore your needs, and not your felt needs. I know those are a whole different thing. That's a different discussion. Your actual needs that you have. Ignore those and drive yourself into the ground. No, you would never say that.
Be available at all hours of the night.
Sometimes it's needed. But no, you would remind them that they matter too.
Right.
And I think sometimes we need to be reminded of that. And it depends. I think some people lean way more selfish, and you're like, hey, you got to die to some of that. And some people lean towards way more of just like, I know I'm supposed to die to myself, and so I do it constantly, and you completely lack any sort of self-care. Not in a selfish way, but just self-care. Like we need to be to actually love our neighbor even better.
Yes.
And I wrote in here, self-denial isn't self-destruction. Jesus isn't calling us to erase our worth, but to reorient our desires around him. To love others as yourself assumes a healthy view of yourself.
Yeah.
And when I neglect myself in the name of serving others, I'm often serving from emptiness, not abundance, and eventually my lack of care spills out on the very people I was trying to love. And personally, that's what I've experienced.
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely. Just like I said, whatever we're putting into our hearts is what's going to come out. If we're not caring for ourselves, then how can we care for others? The care that I was able to provide for my kids whenever I was at my lowest of low, I can't fault myself because I still was there.
Yeah.
I still was mom. I still did the things that needed to be done. But the level of care that I'm able to provide now versus then, totally different. Because I have a different mindset on it all.
Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't. No, man, how I wish. It didn't happen overnight to get to that point either. Yeah. It is, I mean, it takes years sometimes to get places. So then you have to take a lot of times years to get out of places. Yep.
That's exactly it. It's like you dig a hole and it's not suddenly you just step out of the hole.
Right.
No, we're way down here now.
We're way down
here. It's going to take some while to get out. Yep. Okay, so that is the first one. Thank you for interacting on that. Dying to self versus caring for self. That is kind of mixed signals I get from Scripture. Second one can be kind of similar, but in Exodus 20, verse 8, we are told to remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy, to rest. Take time. God rested on the seventh day. It's kind of a rhythm that he's put in there, things that we should do. We need to be able to rest. And then 1 Corinthians 15 tells us, always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one example. There's many examples.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the kind of the main question is, do I hustle endlessly for the kingdom, or do I stop and rest? Do I hustle endlessly for the kingdom, or do I stop and rest? These seem to go hand in hand. Like I have to choose one or the other. They can't be held together. Like
right.
I work and grind, or I rest.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Obviously rest, because I think Peter Assad brought this up. Talking about him already.
Oh, look at that.
But
shout out Peter again.
When I was kind of mulling over this idea, I just remembered him saying that the Lord created everything 6 days, and on the seventh day rested. Man didn't automatically just start having to work as soon as they were created. Mm-hmm. They were made to rest first and then work from rest. Mm-hmm. They started their week from rest. Mm-hmm. And they started their being from rest. And so there is a time and a place to work and do what we need to do for the Lord. But it just going back into the first points we were making, mm-hmm. we have to rest. Yeah. Jesus himself, time and time again, multiple times, 6 times at least in the New Testament, in the Gospels, where Jesus went off alone. Mm-hmm. He ministered to the crowds, he preached, he healed, then he went off alone to pray and seek the Lord. Mm-hmm. So many times. Mm-hmm. He didn't continue working. He didn't keep going and keep going and keep going. He was interruptible, right? He was still interruptible, but he still kept the time to rest. Mm-hmm. And it may not be the same for every single one of us, to where it's this Sunday is our Sabbath where we rest. I think for, you know, the people who are serving on the teams at churches, pastors, that's not really a rest day. Yeah. Maybe after the service when you get home and you can finally take a nap. Mm-hmm. Sure. Mm-hmm. It's the one day a week where I'm like, 4-hour nap, I'm there.
4-hour nap? That's a night's sleep almost.
This is great. I needed it. But
you said you took a 4-hour nap this last Sunday.
I think it was like a 3.5 hour nap. Yeah, so it was a long. It was a long. I was so tired. But it's more than just resting. It's more than just sleeping. Is what I'm saying. It's more than just sleep. It is. Jesus went off and spent time with his Father. Yeah. And it's hard, though, because there's always going to be something.
Ministry, especially like trying to think of it more positive, not just like hustle culture in America, but like there's always good ministry to be done. And that's what can get me. Mm-hmm. It's like I know there's always more to do. There's someone that needs to be called. There's someone that needs to be reached out to. There's someone I got to have over or call or meet up with, or a need that needs to be met at church. Like there's always more and more and more. Or even more I can do to try to get ahead and prep things and whatever.
And it reminds me of the story of Mary and Martha, where Jesus is teaching and Mary is sitting at his feet listening and just getting like all of this poured into her, all of it. Yep. She's just soaking it in. And Martha is so upset because she's hustling, doing all the stuff. And she's like, Lord, like, why don't you tell her to help me? Don't you see that I'm struggling? And Jesus is like, listen, I love you so much, but you don't have to do it all. Yeah. Like, she's doing what needs to be done right now. She's listening to me, and that's what I need you to do. Yeah. It's just, sometimes we just need to sit and listen.
And so that's the tension here, is the resting in God versus working with God. I want to clarify, just not say working for God, because we don't earn nothing.
Yeah.
It's we're resting in God or working with God, and that's where we kind of get these two factions. It comes out a lot in Mary and Martha, that story in particular. That's really clear.
Yeah.
But and this somewhat goes back to the very first thing we brought up about, I'm just staying busy.
Yeah.
Staying busy. Corrie ten Boom, who is a Dutch Christian writer, she said, if the devil can't make us bad, he will make us busy.
Oh, yep, I've heard that. I love it.
That's dirty, Corrie. But
it's so true.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Because if we are busy, then we aren't thinking about, we're not waiting on the Lord. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think of, listen, I was just deep in the first couple verses of Genesis 1 a couple weeks ago, and just the Spirit hovering over the waters. He was resting, but it was active rest. He wasn't just a sloth, just, okay, now it's time to move. No, he was like, he's hovering. It's an active movement, ready to go, but he was still resting.
Yeah.
And so many times we think rest has to be completely sloth-like, prone, laying on my bed, covered up, asleep, a nap, right?
Yeah.
But rest can truly just be sitting and waiting on the Lord to speak. Because as soon as God spoke, the Holy Spirit's like, bam, done, did it.
Yeah.
Like he was ready to go. And if we're not listening for his voice, are we going to be ready to go?
Yeah.
When he calls us to do things, are we going to hear his voice and know what it sounds like?
And we need some margin to do that. Because I know the drive. Even though I don't have kids, like I've experienced it too, where you wake up, you instantly feel the pressure. I have to get ready as quick as possible because I got to get into work. And so you're driving in your traffic and you're kind of stressed out because everyone's going slow. And you finally freaking get there and you get in and, oh man, I'm a little late I got to get through these emails. And then by the time you get through emails, holy crap, it's lunch. Dang it. Okay. Now eat real quick, but I'm also going to try to fill some stuff out on lunch. And then you get back and then suddenly it's 5:00 and you got to get home. Shoot.
And
okay.
make dinner.
And then you fighting traffic again home. Same people fighting traffic to get home. You get in there. You only have an hour and a half with the kids before they go down. So you're like, man, I got to make the most of this moment. But I'm stressed out and I'm tired. And maybe I'm making dinner, maybe she's making dinner, whatever. We're trying to figure some of this out. And she looks like she's frazzled. And so I'm like, I need to care for you too, but I also don't want to neglect. Like, and then suddenly they go down, and then it's 8:30, 9:00, and you're like, I am gassed. And so you just throw something on Netflix and pass out.
Yep. You got the day down.
That's brutal. And there will be days like that.
Right. We're human.
We're
It's
human.
life.
There will be days like that. But does that have to be our norm experience? That's what's hard. And I know we have responsibilities. We have all kinds of stuff going on, but we have to find a way to build in some margin, because if we're just working, maybe we're not even working with God. Maybe we're just working. And it's the in Genesis, the sweat of our brow, like working our butts off down here with our hands. And maybe it is working with God. Maybe it is ministry stuff. We're not finding time to rest in God. We will miss exactly what you're talking about. I just wrote down some questions as I was thinking through this, and this is my tendency. And so you can answer this for yourself. But do I treat rest as obedience to God or as wasted time? And maybe that's just self-evaluation. Maybe you don't have to think through it.
Yeah, I think.
Or don't have to answer it.
No, I really do believe that could for sure be an inclination. Do we look forward to it, or is it just something that we check off the list? Oh, I rested. Is
rest obedience?
Right.
We don't see it as obedience.
We don't.
It's hard for me to at times.
Because it just feels like, okay, I could be doing
wasted
something.
time.
I could be doing something else. Again, just having all this time on my hands, like, what do I do with myself?
It's okay to not do anything for a minute.
Is it?
Is it?
Get
a hobby.
It is. And I think years ago, it would have been a lot more. It would have been a lot harder. The last 2 years, I've really worked to curate balance in my life, and to figure out what is it that is necessary and what is it can wait. What is it that I need to do right now, and
priorities. Yeah.
What are my priorities, and aligning those with God. I think this summer has really truly been about what does it mean to fully rest and surrender.
Yeah.
That's what I've been working through. So this comes at a great time, because it's It's different for everyone. We've already said that. But knowing what rest is for us, we can't judge how other people rest.
Hmm.
Because I am a busy person, you're a busy person, and so the way we rest may look different than how other people rest. Where for
Thank
them,
you.
it needs to be sitting alone. I love doing
No.
that. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But for me, I also I want to be doing something as I'm resting. I'm reading my Bible.
For sure.
I'm doing something like that instead of just listening to music. I can't just sit and listen to music. Like, what do you mean? Just sit here and listen to music? This is not proper.
Yeah. And maybe there's something in that we need to search out.
Right.
And be like, okay, is there?
Am I just trying to be busy?
Yeah. But like for me, that is a constant thing. That people tell me I need to rest all the time. I'm like, dog, I know myself fairly well. I can sense when I need to rest, and but or need something big. But I feel like I have pretty healthy rhythms in my life, and I've worked hard at that to maintain those, and I also rest in different ways. Like me with a lot of people, that's rest for me. Like Thursday nights with the worship team, and then afterwards hanging out, that's rest. With small group, that feels like rest. With another, that's rest to me, and that's different. You know, I'm still finding those times when I'm alone. A lot of my commute, my drives, that's that. Tuesday nights, it is me and Clint have had Tuesday nights for 8 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, when I married him and his wife, Becca, and when I married them, I said, as part of it, I'm like, Tuesdays, he's mine. Like,
That's what you
guys
said.
understand this. It is the agreement, marriage agreement, that Tuesdays, I have my cornhole league or whatever it is. Those, I have to have those things to make sure I stay in a good headspace. And so, yes, we do rest differently. And for some people it is, I just need to isolate. I need to go to a coffee shop by myself.
And I think understanding, being self-aware, bringing that self-awareness piece back into it, knowing whenever it's too much.
Yeah.
Knowing whenever I'm just isolating myself. Knowing whenever I'm just filling my time with all the things. That is again, it's different for everyone, but knowing ourselves and where we go to.
Yeah. I mean, paying attention if there is something that happens, and then that's triggering that in me. They're like, I need rest. I need to rest.
Why?
Is it avoiding something? Is it just awareness?
Yeah.
To those things like you're saying. Some kind of evaluative questions that I've used is, what does my calendar reveal about whether I trust God or trust my own hustle? Like, what does my calendar say? And if Jesus looked at how I balance rest and work, what would he say? What would he say? Would he say I'm working too much, or I'm resting for the wrong reason? Because you can rest for the wrong reason. This is why this all is really difficult. Because don't ever discount our ability to manipulate something to our own benefit. But this is where building in rhythms, like just daily pauses, whether that is prayer, a weekly Sabbath, if you can get a whole day, cool. Where you're just not working, and maybe it's spending time with family or whatever it may be. Seasonal
doing something
retreats
that you love.
Yes. Yeah, seasonal retreats can be a good thing. Maybe you and your spouse, or just you, get away for a couple days. That's cool. That's great. But I think resting is an act of trust in a lot of ways.
Right.
I'm not trusting in my own hustle and my own work, but I'm going to trust him, and I'm going to obey.
Yep.
By stepping away and not working for a bit.
I'm going to follow the best model out there, which was with Jesus. If it's not too good for him, then obviously it's not too good for me, and I can do it as well.
Yeah.
If I'm not resting, then am I actually listening to him?
Yeah. Yeah. I wrote down a quote. I can't remember who it's from, But work without rest turns into idolatry, and rest without work turns into apathy.
Yeah.
So those are the pits on either side of this that we got to avoid.
Yep. It's a tension, and you'll see yourself falling into one side or the other at some point, but it's just understanding and recognizing it, and knowing that we can try in our own strength and never figure it out.
Yeah.
It truly comes from surrender and being like, this is what it looks like to surrender. If I say forgiveness looks like, Lord, I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to forgive this person. I'm going to forgive this. And I have to do that every minute that for days and weeks. And then it maybe gets down to every hour I'm thinking about it, and I can say I forgive. And then, it gets less and less. Surrender to me, I've learned, is the exact same thing. Like I have to daily, all day long, multiple times within the same setting. I surrender. I don't need to worry about that. I don't have enough information to worry about that. I don't need to be worried about that. I'm just inventing things. This hasn't even happened yet. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Probably not. I'm literally inventing a situation.
Yep.
But I will have a solution if it does.
Yeah.
So mind rest is, I think, where God wants us to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean our bodies. Yes, we need sleep. We need that rhythm, obviously. It's created for a reason, but we also need mind rest. Yeah. Because the enemy will whisper into our mind. Yeah.
And I think that's the big one for me. It's physically I'm fine. I sleep at night. I'm good. Like I'm okay on that front. It's the mental weight of everything.
I think,
and I have a high attention to detail. A hyper awareness on a regular basis, and I have a high capacity for work. And those lead to me either being some psychotic billionaire who owns some crazy company, or they can drive me into the ground.
Right.
And I'm not a billionaire, so I think it's gonna potentially head another direction if I'm not careful.
Right.
So like that constant mind going, evaluating, looking for stuff, awareness of stuff, that can absolutely just grind me to nut, because I'm like, nothing's good enough, and I'm not good enough.
Yeah, I think Craig Groeschel.
Craig Groeschel?
Yeah. He said,
lead pastor and founder of Life.Church.
Yeah. He's fantastic. Yeah. But he wrote a book. I can't think of the name of it now, but he wrote a book, and in the book he said the biggest war of our generation is going to be of the battle of the mind. And that's so true, because if we look back at 2020 and people were isolated, the mental health crisis skyrocketed. Skyrocketed. We haven't seen numbers like that in decades.
Yeah.
Because when we're alone and we're not surrounded by community, the enemy can whisper lies into our ears. And it's easier to believe them when we don't have people reminding us of truth.
Yep.
And when we ourselves are spiraling, that's he can, instead of maybe keeping us busy physically, maybe keeping our mind busy, focusing on all the things that aren't of God.
Yeah.
And not surrendering this thing that didn't happen, that I have no information to happen. Surrender that. Lord, just take it. I surrender it.
Yeah.
And it sounds silly, but truly, like the last few weeks, my friends, you may have even heard me like, you know what, I surrender it, Lord. Yeah. I'm saying it, I have a smile on my face when I say it, because it's funny to say. It's like, this is so weird to say. I'm giggling at myself, but I'm being serious when I'm doing it. Like, no, this is my reminder. Like, so I surrender that. Like, I surrender that. I don't need to be worrying about it. I don't need to be thinking about it. And the peace, the joy that comes with that is just, it surpasses understanding.
There it is. Yeah. Dude, and it's all being able to shut that off is huge. Like I've told Aubrey that before, where for some reason, when I lay down to go to bed, sometimes that is when my brain is just like, dude, you got ideas for sermons, you got thoughts, you're processing through stuff in a way you never have. Like, Lord is blessing you right now. And my mind's just going, and I'm like, okay. And so I stop, I write it down on a notepad, like on my phone, and then I have to tell my brain, stop.
You have to take
And
control of your mind.
I have to focus on stopping it because it sometimes can be really exciting. I'm like, oh, this is good. I can write those down. But I'm like, if it's that good,
I'll remember it later.
I'm going to trust that it'll come back. And so I write down the stuff that I need to maybe recall it later on. And I'm like, I have to stop my brain. And that's to get rest. I have to tell my brain, shut up. Stop.
Shut up.
Everything you do. Yeah. It's hard. Okay, one last one because
Yeah.
I know you got to go before too long here, and we've been going for a little bit. We're just going back and forth.
We're chit-chatting.
Chit-chatting. Okay, Mark 6:31. Come away with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest. Constantly, we see through the example of Jesus, we're told to rest, to pray. And focus on kind of the priorities he would have us focus on as kingdom people. And then Ephesians 5, be very careful making the most of every opportunity. Just the back and forth of like, there's opportunities here, stay busy, keep going, and then focus on kingdom priorities. Busy culture versus kingdom priorities. This is a kind of the back and forth. And this is something I think is very, very common in American culture, especially because our culture glorifies busyness, but Jesus invites us into just rhythms of kind of presence and purpose. Like, hey, where you are at, your workplace, and you're focusing on like grind and work, you're in an opportunity right now, and you got to open your eyes to it and not just be focused on busy to be busy. And I'm just doing this to get the paycheck, provide for my family. You're in an opportunity right now. And so trying to be able to hold those things and see like, yes, you are working to provide for family, but you're also in an opportunity here.
Right.
And trying to figure that out at times, or just even remind ourselves at times that there's an opportunity in front of us, or I am where I am for a specific purpose and a specific reason.
Right. I think we talk all the time about there's a lot of great things that we could be doing. And if we do all of them, then we won't be doing them all well. It's okay to have priorities and okay to be focused on one or two things. I think as a mom, it was really, really hard for me because I was a stay-at-home mom. And it was just really difficult for me because the message I was receiving was all these different avenues for you to be pouring into people and loving on people and serving people and serve, get out, like all this other stuff in your home. Like, and for me, it was like this moment of realization whenever I don't even know. I don't know if Landon was born yet, but it was this moment of realization like, wait, my priority is my family, and that's okay. Yes, I want more people to know Jesus. I want those people surrounding me to know Jesus. So whenever I am in the world, I'm going to live in such a way that they see Jesus.
Yeah.
And I'm going to interact in such a way that they see Jesus. But my children, that is my first priority.
They need to see Jesus first.
Exactly, because they're going to be the ones that be like, yeah, actually, she's a liar.
True.
Right? I mean, you think your parents are amazing up until you turn like, whenever you get out on your own and then you start realizing like, okay, I still love my parents, but I see some things. Okay. And there's some realizations that you have like, oh, our parents aren't perfect.
Yeah.
And that is a realization that every single child has. Like, I have not talked to one person that didn't have that realization at some point. Like, my parents aren't perfect. I still love them. Oh, they were right in these things. Oh, okay. But they're still not perfect. And so wanting to make sure that realization with my kids is not going to be detrimental to them knowing Jesus. Right. And having that idea that we have all these things that we could be doing, all these people that we could be serving, all these ministries, all these nonprofits, all these volunteer opportunities. But if you are a stay-at-home parent, your ministry is your kids.
Yeah.
and making sure that your kids know Jesus, making sure they see Jesus, making sure that they know that they are loved no matter what, that the message of the Bible, you are living that for them. So that way they have a good relationship with the idea of a father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
It's
that's good.
huge, and
That's
it's hard. It's not easy. You lose your temper, you lose your cool. It's not something that is gonna it's hard, but I think so many times parents, they view the ministry as more important. Ministry of the church or serving somewhere else as more important than taking care of their family.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be swung the other direction where you're only with your family and you're only doing things for them and you're only siloed, right?
Yeah, and I've seen both. I think on that latter side of, I've met many parents and many families like, man, I just want my kids to follow Jesus. I want them to serve the Lord. I want them to know the Lord. And then you look at the priorities, and they're like, yeah, my family's my first ministry. I was like, well, what are you discipling them in? Because right now it looks like you're never here.
Mm-hmm.
You're prioritizing these other things, these other extracurricular activities, which aren't in and
They're
of
not
themselves
bad. They're not bad.
All the things you go do aren't in and of itself bad. But what's the thing most of all you want them to do with their life?
Right.
Grow up and make money, so they can look back and say, you know what? We had a lot of fun when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Or do we want them to know Jesus? And sometimes that means we sacrifice some stuff that we want to do as a family because we're going to prioritize making sure they know Jesus.
Right.
And so I've seen being a youth pastor, I've seen both sides of this thing all the time.
I bet. And it can be used as a crutch to not do something. And I think that was the one thing I was struggling with, like considering that my family is my first priority. Oh my gosh, well, then I'm neglecting the other things that God wants me to do. I'm not meeting these people. I'm not talking to these people. I'm not blah, 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 blah. And it's not that you don't, like I can't go and meet my neighbors and talk to them and do all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's still important that we have relationships with those around us. But if it's God, your spouse, your kids, and then everyone else.
Yeah.
And if I'm putting God or I'm putting someone else in God's spot, and it the whole system just kind of topples over and falls, and divorce can happen whenever you don't have people don't understand, like, I love my husband more than I love my kids, and people are like, what? I'm like, it's not that I don't love my kids, like I can't imagine life without them, to the point where, like, if something were to happen to them, Lord, take me, because I can't be here without them. So like, it's nothing like that. It's just I have to live with my husband after my kids leave and go off and do their own lives, right? I have to still, like, I'm choosing that. Yeah. And it's something that is not easily done, to choose to put God first, spouse, family, and then all the other priorities can kind of filter into where they need to be for your own life. Yeah.
And you're not just showing as like an adult person who's trying to lead your family and show them Jesus. You're not just hoping to grow up and know Jesus. You're as you love your neighbor, you're showing them how to love their neighbor. That doesn't mean you always prioritize every relationship above them, but as you do those things, as you prioritize your church family, you're showing them that this is something that's important, that's good for our benefit. As you have a small group over at your home, or you got, like, we're showing them these things. And I think it's so beautiful. We're showing them what a robust spiritual life can look like,
right? Rather
than occasionally church, a boatload of cool vacations or sports or whatever it may be. And I know I'm stepping on toes, and I'm not, like, if the shoe fits, wear it. I'm sorry. I want to be careful with that, but we have to check our priorities at certain times.
We do.
And because I have to go through the same crap. I have to do the same thing for my life.
Not everything is, we can do all things, but not everything is beneficial. There's other people to do different things in the church. There's other people to fill spots that I don't need to be filling. And if that spot doesn't need to be filled right now, then it doesn't need to be filled.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're working at a capacity that's too much, and that's okay. And so that self-evaluation is so incredibly important. I don't think you can do much without knowing where you're at.
Mm.
If I don't
spiritually, you're saying?
Spiritually, yes. If I don't know where I'm at spiritually, how am I supposed to get up on stage and be authentic and not performative? That is my greatest fear, is that anyone would ever...
I'm glad that is, as our worship director, I'm glad that is a fear in you.
That anyone would ever think that what I do on there is performative, because nothing is. And I work from a place of every time I get up on that stage, I'm like, Lord, use me.
Yeah.
Your words, not mine. Your voice, not mine. So that you can be glorified. That I cannot boast in any of this, because on my own strength, I'm going to mess it up. I do it every time. I do it all the time. I mess up all the time. Like that.
Oh, trust me. I know.
I know you know. But the thing is, like, there's such a freedom to know that all the mistakes I can make, and he's still working and he's still moving. I just have a surrendered heart, knowing that the mistakes don't negate what he's doing.
Yeah.
And they're not done out of like,
yeah,
I didn't work, I didn't practice.
Yeah.
No, I've done everything I could in my own strength. Now it's up to you, Lord.
Yeah, and honestly, what I love, and keeping with this, what I love so much is that, like, you're, you show up early, and then at some point during a rehearsal, Micah walks in with the boys, or and while we're rehearsing, and you're up there, you know, singing your heart out, and practicing leading, and then like on certain Sundays they're in there too, or they see that, and so they're seeing their mom up on stage, seeing what worship to God can look like, and also they see you at home, and that can be really a vulnerable feeling if you're living two lives,
right?
But I don't think that's the case,
right? It's accountability
and
thing for sure.
It's a beautiful thing that they're getting to see that in you. And like, yes, Sunday mornings can be kind of busy sometimes because of that.
Right.
But man, how beautiful a thing are they learning from you? And I know you're not neglecting your family, so there's no
trying
question
not
there.
to.
Yeah. But to wrap up this, Dallas Willard said, "Hurry is the great enemy of the spiritual life. You cannot love God or people in a hurry."
Yeah.
And I don't know who said this. I just have a bunch of random things written down. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do for God, for God's kingdom, is take a nap, pray, or slow down enough to notice your neighbor.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're so busy we don't even notice our neighbor. We don't even notice our family. That's a whole different thing. But this is something I said. This kind of wraps up everything: rest, busy culture, all the different stuff that we've talked about. And I said this just recently, is as we talk about like caring for the spiritual needs of your family, loving your neighbor, seeing your opportunities at work, as like you are a called into a mission field, all these different things. And that we're like, gosh, that's a lot. I don't know if I can do all that. And could it be that we've added so much to our schedules that living like Jesus sounds burdensome? Or could it be that we've gotten so used to the busyness of our culture that to slow down for the sake of our spiritual health seems counterproductive? Could it be that in our desire to give our kids a life that we didn't have, in our efforts to build a kingdom here, we forget the kingdom that we really belong to? And I think those are the things that we fall into so easy in Western America Christianity right now.
Yeah.
Those things so easy. But
yeah, absolutely.
The life Jesus, and I'll end with this, the life Jesus invites us into isn't about choosing between self-denial or self-care, between rest or work, between busyness or purpose. It's about living in the tension where denial, rest, and presence form a rhythm that make us more like him.
Yes.
And we just work and work and work at that, and it's going to take time.
And it's a never-ending process.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not going to be over until we're in heaven.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be over.
Yeah.
And so it's not something to be like upset about or discouraged by. It's something to be like, oh, I can give myself grace. Okay.
Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah.
Today wasn't a great day, but you know what? This is what I did well.
Yeah.
This is what we can do tomorrow.
Yeah. And getting to the end of your day and not like, I think the difficulty is for me, it's like, hey, did I get a lot done today? And then you can really beat yourself up. It's like, oh man, I didn't get a lot done. And I've challenged myself to ask, like, did I love well today? Did I love well? Did I live well today? Like in terms of what God's called me to, not just did I get a lot done? Because in ministry, it can be really demoralizing. There's not always a lot of like, 6 people got saved today at work. Look at that. That doesn't happen every day. And so you get to the end of a week and you're like, man, have I done anything?
Yeah.
But did I love well? Did I live well today? But any last words?
No, just make sure that you know you and you trust it in Jesus.
Yeah.
You rest in that, and that you have a community here if you need to reach out.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, Ashley, thanks for hanging out.
Absolutely.
Thanks for talking. That was a long one. How long did we go?
Hour
and 20.
Yeah, look at us.
Extra.
I'm a chatty Cathy. Listen,
it's very true. It's very true.
I'm a chatty Cathy.
And the only reason it's an hour and 20 is because she has to leave, because it'd probably be longer.
Listen, good timing.
Speaking of, we got to go pick up the kids.
Yep.
But thank you everybody for joining us. This has been the Equip Podcast, equipping you to live out your Christian life as you faithfully love God and love others with truth and grace. Now let's go do it.